All right, so first of all, now that we're back on YouTube, for those of you at home, am I ever going to play? No, we're just stuck here. I'm telling you, this game is too long. This game is too long. I actually say that with sincerity. But as promised, as stated, I don't like to just kind of give negatives for a game when it's frustrating me, when I'm in that emotional state. That's not a good time to be fair with regards to review. So I took some time last night after we failed at the races for a bit. My hands were starting to hurt. The races themselves weren't too bad. Actually, they're probably going to be positive. But that frickin' section right before it, 3 insta-death, screw-you rooms in a row with no checkpointing, with bad controls, yeah, that hurt. I did give that a negative. But I took some time away, hung out with my nieces. The littlest one has taken to trying to do the dishes with me, which involves grabbing the sponge and holding it under the water for a really long time, and then like scrubbing the edges of the sink. I'm describing it badly. It's extremely cute. Anyways, spent some time with the nieces, spent some time with the family. Ate dinner, relaxed, did some stretches, just walked away from the game a bit. Came back to the review document. It's like, okay. And I spent some time last night cleaning up the review document, doing the audit, the full audit. So at this point, other than whatever we haven't covered, the review is completely up to date, and typing up my thoughts to make sure that it was all there. As you might have noticed, the score has changed around a little bit, and I stand by that. But I do want to say one other thing, because I mentioned the game is too long. I think the best way to demonstrate that is by looking at the score there. So if you'll forgive my indulgence for just a moment here. I'm curious how this game would have scored if the Metroidvania section of the game didn't exist. Now, I was going to do this off camera, and then I did Metroid research. So let's do that now. So just a quick couple of notes here. So we'll just say this, and then so that'll be the plus this to story. If you want to get in like a just for fun of it guess for what the bronze number or the silver number, I guess, would be, if the game didn't have the second half, feel free. Because, yeah, this game is definitely dragged. Okay, here we go. One moment, please. That's it, yep. So, yeah, if we didn't have the second half of the game, this game would score roughly 77 golden number. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Definitely, what I usually refer to as averagely good. Which sounds like an insult, but totally isn't. To be perfectly frank, most games should aim to be at around the 60 to 90 range. So that's what the score would be, if not for the fact that the game kept going at a certain point. Let's see what the game scores for real. By the way, depending on how well I do, we might literally be like 20 minutes from the end of the game here. So, I'm going to chop off the guessing game, like, really soon. Damn it. Not that it matters, but, Wait, I have an itch. Oh no, I have an itch. That's actually funny. That it's that close. First of all. God. The glide is so terrible. It never stop being terrible. Never stop sucking, glide. Yeah, we've had the fortune of having covered some very, very good games at this point. Like some of the best games ever made. So there's definitely a bit of a skew towards people expecting games to be like in the hundreds range normally. I'm having this one. Yep. There's an achievement for doing this without any deaths whatsoever. Why? It's just, I love how even now, get fresh, rested, done my stretches, first thing in the morning, you know, hands are stretched and recovered. The glide continues to be an issue. It really is ridiculous. In that case, that was the glue problem. And we're dead. Oh, I think I actually hit it first. Holy crap. Never mind. First try. Well, I mean, first try today. Okay, so final boss time. Hey, Blue Dragon. What am I supposed to do here? I'm not sure what's going on, but I strongly suggest you give your best shot at this race against your evil twin. Any stories? I do, but you should really get back to chasing the Dark Messenger. I'll tell you a good one after you save the day. Alright. Yes, we're in Hawaii. Aloha. So, final boss. Which means I'm chopping off the guessing game now. So, if you haven't gotten your guess in, this would be a good time to do it. Ah. Sorry, stretching my back a little. Dramatic pause. Let's see, pull up my own copy of the guessing sheet here. If you're actively guessing, looks like nobody's guessing. Nobody's even looking at the document. Cool. Wow, nobody's been watching this stream. Ain't that always the way? That's okay. I had more viewers for Pentiment. It's sort of sad. It's okay, nobody watches the platformers. I've noticed that. Nobody watches the platformers. Let's do it. And so the messenger wins the race. It's over, demon. Your plan has failed. Release the hostages, now! Now, let's not be hasty. You're merely played in my hand once again! What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh? For the Dark Messenger's full potential to be unleashed, it first need to be untethered from its greed demon. Oh, I've been waiting for this moment. Now, my Dark Messenger, I reckon it's time for us to do the thing! Okay. Okay, well, there's our final boss. What? I knew it! Uh-oh. That's actually pretty bad. I'll be right back. What? But... I get all of that, but even if the scroll had somehow been copied too, that doesn't mean they should be able to... Well, if it isn't the shopkeeper. Okay, that's not going to do it all. What? Surely if we do the thing, we can defeat it. Oh, without a doubt, it's just the hat on this guy. Why don't we do the thing then? Listen, I'm all for fighting bulky bosses, but fashion statements are something I take very seriously. One moment, please. Alright, showtime! Now that we got a hat. Okay.
Fight.
Oh my god, it's Punch-Out! Oh my god, it's Punch-Out! It's just straight up Punch-Out. I can't decide how much I like that. Oh, God. It's not as precise as Punch-Out, but that makes sense. This is a Unity Engine game.
Fight.
Even had the exaggerated effects as they're dodging, or being hit, rather. Yeah, no, there's a really bad delay on actually being able to take action. That's kind of bad in a game like this. Holy crap. We're gonna lose, because I can't dodge.
Fight.
I mean, yeah, there's always been game engines. They didn't call them that yet. But they were, though. It's just the dodging is wrong. I think there's a bit of buffering going on, too. I think try to keep that into account. And we're dead. Yeah, not that bad. Want me to show you a few boxing tips? No, I'm good. Hey, Trixie. Yeah, bring a gun.
Fight.
Move! God damn! Ah! I never block in Punch-Outs, but I don't know if there's a block, would be the answer to that.
Fight.
Another thing that's kind of irritating is when you're hit, you can't dodge after being hit. Like, there's a stun moment when you're hit, so you can't recover from being hit. So if he has any multi-strikes, those suck, because his second, third, and however many attacks are pretty much going to hit you. Ah, so Deltarune has a punch-out section in it. Got it. Know that. Ah! It worked! The voodoo energy is finally loose and ready to be absorbed. What's he on about? Didn't we just knock this guy out? Behold, as the magic seed ripens before your very eyes. What is this, the actual final boss now? I want to see it like that. I can do with whatever you have to throw at me, demon. Oh, you won this round, messenger, but I'll return. In the prequel. Well, this takes care of that. Can't wait to see what he does with the seed. What should we do in the meantime? Could you maybe let us out of here? It's about time we had that picnic. We're starving. Yeah, let's all go on a picnic. Thank you for joining us at the picnic. Wow, thanks for the invite. This is amazing. What an adventure. Yeah, we only organized the picnic because we wanted permission to drink little juice boxes. Totally worth it in the end. Is it true you have to leave soon? Voodkin Island is so much fun. If you ever need to measure anything, you can use me. From the bottom of my shoe to the tip of this tape, I measure exactly 112 centimeters. That fight was sick. We should do the thing again sometime. So you said you'd tell me a story after everything was resolved? Oh yeah, I suppose I did. Do you want to hear the story then? Yes. Alright, here's one for you. It's a story about a story. Or more precisely, about a friend of mine's relation to it. Here we go. There was once a little girl who had a favorite fairy tale. She couldn't get enough of it. Every week she wanted to hear it again. And much like the dysfunctional patterns we recreate in our lives, I bet part of her was hoping that by listening to the same story endlessly, its ending would eventually change. Because you see, she only truly liked the first half of the fairy tale. You have to call me out that hard, game. We want something like this. Once upon a time, there lived a monstrous beast in a castle who kept a farmer imprisoned in his dungeon. One day, the farmer's daughter went to the beast's castle to offer herself as prisoner in exchange for her father's freedom. The farmer being quite a selfless dad, and the beast a reasonable bully. Everyone instantly agreed. Hi, Zach Taft. At first, very scared and put off by the beast's appearance, Rebecca learned to look past the surface and become quite fond of him. Far from being blatantly romanticized case of Stockholm Syndrome, her feelings toward him grew into genuine love. But the beast, as it soon turned out, was actually a beautiful prince who had the misfortune of being turned into a monster by an evil witch. A spell which can only be broken by receiving a kiss from his true love. The power of this relationship helped him reconnect with the good within him, and his past as a captor was never revisited or brought into question after he became the farmer's son-in-law. They lived happily ever after. The end. Everyone knows that one. Of course, but remember, it's about my friend. She didn't like the story so much past a certain point. What do you think that is? Maybe she thinks beasts are cooler than humans? That's a fair guess. All she told me is she didn't like the prince's voice anymore once he was returned to his human form. But she's a clever one. I can't shake the feeling that part of her thought it didn't really make sense, that someone who had the depth and maturity to look past the surface would receive a reward as superfluous as good looks. Maybe that's where the whole deal became awfully suspicious. If you think about it, there's always something sketchy about apparent perfection. Maybe the appearance of a beast, showcasing hideousness so openly, at least offers the security of letting you know what you're in for. A trait so evident and so repulsive, it can only be uphill from there for one who would take a closer look. Whereas with a perfect front, all that's left is to slowly deconstruct this perfection by slowly noticing the flaws. It's a rare and valuable thing for people to look past the surface, so why would it make sense to offer them something shallow and material in response? I find it also conveys a very important message. A message you need to pay close attention and notice, but which is nonetheless written everywhere, between the lines. Contrast carries beauty. The colorful shirt of the introvert. The pack of watermelon bubblegum in the old lady's purse. The melodic background harmonies of the death metal song. The cute earrings of the stone-faced. The smell of dust kicking up when rain combines with the bright sun on a hot summer day. While others may benefit from paying attention to more stories, some people perceive these things instinctively. Seeing how curious and captivated you are, I'd wager you are close to the second group. And when it comes to my friend, sometimes I like to think that to her, a better title for the fairy tale would have been The Beauty in the Beast. Not sure what to make of all this. I don't overthink it. It's just my special way of saying to that little girl, I'm not even going to try. Hopefully she enjoyed this more than if I had sung happy birthday to her. STU, I hope she did enjoy it. STU Messenger, I hope that in the end you won't think our adventure would have been better without a bonus tropical side quest. Anyway, vacation's over. I should go back now. See you on the A side. Party isn't bad, but I'll need to go back to my lab soon. Let me know when you're ready. The end? Meanwhile, atop the Syrian crags. Yo, it's kind of crazy, Colos. This new diet may be so flexible. It's like he's wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So I see, Sussus. Do you think we're relying on brute strength alone all this time? We should train more assiduously, Sussus. I agree completely, Colos. Good day to you, Cyclopses. Were you waiting for someone, Sussus? I have no idea who's under that cloak, Colos. Say your business, Wanderer. Pardon the intrusion. I was looking for experienced botanists, and rumor has it you two are the best the island has to offer. Yo, this guy's correct, Colos. Let's see what he wants, Sussus. What's it to you, Wanderer? See, I've come across a very rare magic seed, which given proper care is bound to grow into a beautiful plant. Huh? What do you reckon, Colos? We gotta see that seed, Sussus. You have our attention, Wanderer. Show us. With pleasure. Here. I did forget to mention it will give herbs that can be used for cooking. We're so planting the seeds, Sussus. Cowabunga, Colos. What could go wrong? Say no more, Wanderer. We will grow the magic seed. To be continued. Never. Well, that was fun. Yeah, I must admit I'll miss the beach. So, will the adventure continue sometime later? That's not up to me. Feel free to replay Picnic Panic as many times as you want, though. Oh, what's this? It's the altar at the top of Fire Mountain. That'd be a cool addition to my shop. What happened to the caged monster thing? It was useless, so I got rid of it. For now, I'll just use the altar to store any voodoo feathers and mask pieces you find. Magically in the altar tells me you have to find 1 more feather and 10 more mask pieces. Does anybody know what the reward is for that? Because I am turbo not doing that. I never did figure out what those mean. Those have got to be like the side things, the green coin equivalents. You can pretty much tell the moment I stopped trying to get the green coins. Although I got all of them in the Sunken Shrine. I'm surprised by that. And in the Cloud Ruins. And in the Tower of Time. Jeez. Yeah, so the only one I'm missing is that one right there. Well, whatever. I knew this would be a short first shift. Hopefully those of you who like this game are not too hateful of me. Although I don't blame you if you are. Of course it mutes the game. You have to do that game. I know, Unity. Hmm. It's still going to be a net positive game. Guaranteed. It's just a glance at the numbers will prove that. I stand by my statement. I think the game would overall have been better if we cut off at that one point, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the good outweighed the bad. That's the whole point of this system, is to figure that out. I don't know what you have access to, Act. I think I'm just going to have chili today. I was getting pretty far into the game here until the halfway point. Make of that what you will. And I was. I mean, honestly, the fight with Jackass was probably the first real dip in quality in the whole game. I told you to do hot, Act. You didn't listen to me. Alright, so let's see what our actual score is, shall we? Huh. Okay, I'll be honest, that's not what I was expecting. Give me one moment to pull up the genre sheet here. We have a lot of 2D platformers in the genre sheet. So, let's get some numbers in here. Okay. Final story score, plus 11. If we're just looking at 2D platformers, that's pretty solid. That's up there with like Mega Man 6, Shantae 4, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Pretty solid. That's 0.68 pluses per hour, which is not bad. And 82% ratio, which admittedly isn't great, but is still pretty solid. Gameplay-wise, the Messenger scored plus 18. That's actually much more middle of the pack when it comes to 2D platformers. Still, plus 18 is good. Anything over 0 is good, but plus 18 is pretty solid. 1.12 pluses per hour. However, that is a ratio of 64.52%. And that says a lot, because there's a lot of gameplay positives, but there's also a lot of gameplay negatives. So that's how that works. Which leads us to a final golden number of... Drumroll, please. Oh, yeah, let's change songs for this. Let me find it. Final golden number of 62.85. That's why I said that was interesting. The score did go down with the addition of the second half of the game, but not by as much as I thought it would. That's only a small dip, and that still sits very firmly in averagely good. And yeah, that actually sounds about right. I do actually think this is one of those games that either with a walkthrough or with repeat playthroughs where you know where you're going, the second half would be improved dramatically. I also stand by my statement of the fact that the glide should be a separate button, but that's neither here nor there. I think you're right, X. I stand by my statement. This very much has a lot of the telltale signs of a first game, but in the best possible usage of that phrase. Because first game doesn't mean bad game, it means first game. It's a developer's first attempt at a particular type of game. And yeah, that shows here, but there's definitely some talent under the hood. And yeah, no, exactly, John. I was about to say, I think this just beat our previous best first game. In fact, let me double check that really quick. Because I keep track of that kind of thing. It does. This is our new best first game. Because the previous one was Iron Harvest with a 47. Yeah. Nope, I was right. So the guessing game, let me double check that. That's going to be... that's going to be pulling out a calculator is what that is. Hang on. 3.65... Nope, it's actually Pancakes, who continues his trend of using his psychic powers to correctly guess the numbers. I wish I'd been keeping track of how many times people win the guessing game, because I swear Pancakes has won a lot of these. Like, a lot. Maybe he has time travel powers? I don't know. Final thoughts. Super quick. I think this game is one of those games that I value and treasure more than I think is actually good. I know that's... Hang on. Sorry, that sounds derogatory, but bear with me for a second. This is an experimental game, and in many ways they were pushing and trying new things, and that's good. They were trying to just experiment with things. The shift from 2D to Metroidvania, the shift in genre several times with the shoot 'em up sections, the water section, the punch-out fight, the speedrun segment. And then they also shifted back and forth, I noticed, between focusing towards either combat or focusing purely towards platforming, and then shifting back and forth as they go throughout the game. even when it comes to some basic design concepts such as themes, which I don't want to go into right now, you can tell that they're really experimenting. And yeah, I'm with Java. This took some balls to do this as a first game. And I think it succeeded a lot more than it failed. And I'm glad that the studio did well enough in order to be able to get out a sequel. I hope that the sequel's actually been doing really well for them. I don't think I'll ever replay this, but if I did, I'd probably stop... probably when I reach the boss at the end of the tower. I mean, there's some good stuff after that, but that'd probably be the moment where I'm like, yep, I'm satisfied, and I just go ahead and put the game down. As with almost every game ever made in the history of the ever, there's definitely some Sunshine Syndrome going around in this one. I will say, regardless, I do think the Metroidvania section does not work, and I think part of the reason why is because of a failure of understanding of what makes a Metroidvania pop. But it's worth noting that several of the segments individually of the Metroidvania section actually worked really, really well. I think it's just the connective tissue that didn't really pop. My opinion. Either way, big thumbs up from me. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to take a somewhat brief break. Then I'm going to stream Metroid Other M. See you in a bit, guys.